Where to begin?
I think everything was a challenge.
On top of it, shot in Paris. I don't know how someone could say no to that.
What happens when New York and Paris's biggest ballet stars switch places? Kristen Maldonado here for Pop Culture Planet, here at the premiere of Étoile in New York City. Let's go chat with the cast. You're like my style icon right now. You look so cool. I'm obsessed. And I'd love to hear, I know this is like one of your first roles in a TV series. What can you tell us about that experience and what it's been like working with the Paladinos?
Yeah. It's been very challenging for me as I'm a former ballerina. And the most challenging thing for me was finding freedom outside of the work, because as a ballet dancer we find freedom in the work. So when I understood that I needed to let go, I really found freedom, and it was really enjoyable.
Well, that's what was exciting. I've never been involved in anything that really gets into the nitty gritty of a profession and an art form like ballet that people know so little about, and how hard they work, you know. And then you add to that the Paladinos' sense of humor and their storytelling. So it was irresistible.
It's so much fun seeing you in this show.
Thank you.
I mean, you're obviously no stranger to working with the Paladinos.
Yes.
So what made this another great project for you to come back and collaborate with them on?
Well, their immense talent, their very strong vision, their ability to write incredible dialogue, and a world that I was already familiar with. I just love dance. I've always have. And to me, the show is clearly kind of a love letter to dance and to the art world. So, and on top of it, shot in Paris. I don't know how someone could say no to that.
Did you have a favorite memory being out there filming in Paris?
Just every day that we shot at Opéra Garnier, it's just the building, the space is just so insanely beautiful that I had to pinch myself. Every day there was just very special.
And so, you're fluent in French.
Yes.
So
French is my first language. I didn't speak English until I was like 26.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So were you like, oh, this is comfortable, I'm just
Of course.
at home?
Yes, 100%. I love working, I work in Canada very often, and for me when I work in French, it's my native tongue, so there's something even more natural to me because it's just, I don't have to think about it. English, I still learn expressions and words that I don't know because it's a different language.
I'd love to hear about what it was like, what kind of challenges went into bringing this role to life, and also what it was like having Kelly Bishop as your mom.
Well, where to begin? It was very rewarding. I was very flattered to be asked to come back to work with Amy and Dan, especially in this capacity. I was very enamored with the idea that they sort of pitched to me. I've sort of always been enchanted by dance and ballet, sort of from outside of its orbit, and I looked forward to exploring it more. So that was really revelatory and kind of offered a lot in terms of an education, and to have Kelly Bishop play my mommy, I think that's darn special because she is a treasure for sure and a great talent, and also has a shared history with dance that was informative.
Your character, I feel like, is such a badass, but also has this kind of heart of gold that we see kind of uncover as the season goes on, just the connection that she forms with Gail and Susu that you kind of don't necessarily expect at the beginning. What can you tell us about why she was drawn to those characters?
Because I think in reality she's a really coherent human being. So maybe sometimes she's brutal, she's headstrong, she's passionate, she's too much, but her purpose, her goal is beautiful. So you forgive her and you love her because she's real.
What was it like working opposite Lou? You guys had such great chemistry.
Yeah, she's incredible. It was funny though because at the beginning she didn't really know how to speak English, so I would speak English to her and she would just nod. Yeah, and I'm like, you don't know what the hell I'm saying, dude. She's like, no. But it was beautiful to kind of find that dynamic and that chemistry with her throughout all the shooting days that we had.
I watched many interviews of Sylvie Guillem. She's a French dancer, a very famous French dancer, and she was called Mrs. Non because she was always saying no. She was very insolent, so she was a good inspiration for the character.
I love your character. I feel like he's someone who is trying to get his opportunity, you know, and
he's trying very hard.
Yeah. What can you tell us about your journey this season?
Well, it's a very similar journey to mine in drama school. You know, I got there, I was an outsider, I had a very thick French accent, I had to work twice as hard as anyone else, I wanted to prove myself, and it's very similar to him. On top of it, he's from a working class family, he has a rough background, so he doesn't, you know, he struggles to fit in. And his journey is about letting go of himself, learning how to work with other people, trusting authority, trusting people that know better than him in order to become the artist that he's meant to be.
Yeah, and you worked very closely with Gideon Glick this season, so what was that like?
I mean, to be fair, it was the easiest thing I've had to do in the shoot is have chemistry with this man, because he's not only an incredible actor, but he's also so kind. He was supportive of me from the beginning. He, at the table reads, he was always with me, checking on me, and I hope that chemistry, you know, is palpable in the show, because we're very close.
What was it like kind of balancing the choreography for this with like the directing now, and it's sort of like it's not just on stage, it's like on screen?
Yeah, it was a big challenge. It's very different from just being in a ballet company, and managing also rehearsals time and being on set filming. Like I remember sometimes being on set and receiving ballet videos from the choreographer as the choreography changed, and I would need to be ready for that in advance for the next day. So it's been challenging but fun, and also the fact that in a performance we only get to do things once, and on set we have to do things over and over, which is nice because we can get the closest to perfection.
I feel like your character had some similar parallels to your own life story in terms of, you know, being a performer but also having all these other interests and things that you do as well. What can you tell us about what it was like sort of bringing that to screen?
I mean, it was all Amy and Dan who understood me better than I understand myself, and they kind of put this character together and offered, you know, if I was willing to take a leap of faith and do this with them. And obviously I would never say no to Amy and Dan. They're incredible writers, some of the best in the industry right now, so I'm just grateful and fortunate that I'm part of this project with them.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like you're someone who seems to take great care in the roles that you choose to take on. So I guess what is it about like the things that you've done that you're like is there like a spark or something that you're like, this is it, this is the one I want to do?
Yeah, I mean, if I connect to the character, I know I can bring it to life, and people will connect with that character. I think as soon as I saw that the character, you know, is always trying to run away from the arts and the ballet world, and finally has to make a decision to just embrace it, because that's what's meant for him. That's what he should be doing in this life. And I feel like I drew a lot of parallels with that with my own life. So yeah.
The thing that I think is so amazing as well is like highlighting ballerinas of color, and I feel like there's a lot of diversity in this cast. And is that something that's like important to you in, you know, being a part of a project like this?
Yeah, definitely. Ballet is doing better with diversity, but I think representing the ballet world and the Black community, I feel very proud of that, and I really hope that little girl can feel inspired and see that they are included.
Did you have a favorite scene to bring to life this season?
A couple. I really enjoyed, it's a French scene where I speak French with Yvan Dupontavis, and Geneviève is away in New York, and I'm replacing her. And it's just an absurd scene where I tell him that when she's not in town, when he looks at me, he should see Geneviève. And I just love that scene and the rapport we have between the two of us.
The first scene was so good for me to do, but I can't speak about it because it's the opening scene for the character, but this one was with Amy. We had such a good time doing this.
Well, you'll see at the end of episode 4, the very last scene between me and Gideon, it's my favorite scene. The writing is just exceptional.
You had to learn English, you also had to learn the sort of like Palladino dialogue style, and also learn ballet. So what was the hardest? What was the most challenging?
I think everything was a challenge. I was like, okay, it's a huge challenge, and I was happy with that, because when everything is a challenge, you want to be scared at first, but it's too much, so you stop to be scared and you just improve it and make mistake and you work.
That's really interesting. I mean, apart from all of their very subtle intellectual notes, there was also the note quicker, which I responded to, I believe. No, I love it. I love the energy of their dialogue and the way they move things, stories along so fast.
They were both equally as challenging. When you're doing an Amy and Dan Palladino show, you have to understand that you have to speak quickly and accurately, and just let the words do the rest. They know what they're writing. You don't have to try too hard to bring those words to life. Just say them as quickly as you can, and the results are going to be perfect.
It's a good question. It's similar. Amy has a dance background, so really the way you weave the words and the way you behave yourself and the physicality, it's similar to what you have to learn with ballet. It's all about precision, and again, like I said before, trusting the authority and the guidance of the Paladinos. But it's demanding because there is a very specific rhythm, and I have a music background, so it really is just reading a sheet music and trying to do your best with your own experience and your own background. But they're always so loving and respectful and just beautiful people to work with.
I know the show's already been picked up for a second season, so if you could imagine another character from the Palladino universe coming in for season 2, who would you want to see come in?
Oh, for season 2. Well, there's already an amazing one that is in season 1, which is Kelly Bishop.
Oh, yes. Okay.
It's just fantastic, her presence, and she, I mean, as you know, she created Chorus Line.
Oh.
So it just makes sense for her to be in there. I don't know, Lauren and Melissa, they're my friends, so of course I would love to have one of them around me and just like be in Paris together. It'd just be so fun.
I can choose oh my god, oh, I want so many people.
I would love Rachel Brosnahan to make a cameo. That would be amazing because I think she would fit in so brilliantly in this world as well, and I'd love to meet her someday, so it'd be a great opportunity.
Luke from Gilmore Girls, that's who I'd want to connect with, yes, for sure. He should come back and work with us.
It will be really fun to see Midge Maisel as Midge Maisel in the show.
Consider subscribing if you like this video and get even more entertainment news at popcultureplanet.net. See ya!